Hey guys, it's Gawain, and today we're going to be taking a look at perhaps one of the best roamers on defense, Alibi. Alibi is a 3-speed 1-armor defense operator that specializes in intel gathering and fragging. Alibi has good weapons, secondary gadget, and a useful primary gadget. Good Alibi players will trick their enemies into revealing their positions and picking up frags on that information. Let's learn how to play her. Alibi is equipped with her bamboozle balls, of which she gets 3. These balls will flatten out once they reach the ground and project a replica of a default skin Alibi holding an MX4 Storm with no attachments on it. These holograms won't deploy if there's something above it or the ball does not have enough room to spread out fully. When fully projected, teammates stood on the prisma will disable it and the projection of Alibi won't appear. If an attacker sends anything through the projection, such as a bullet, grenade, other projectile, or a drone, then they will be live pinged 5 times over 5 seconds and their identity will be revealed to the defenders if they hadn't been spotted by a scan already. You'll know to look for these pings because Alibi herself will shout a voice line and each ping will make a bit of a sound. Try your best to get an angle on the person that's being pinged so you can get a pick and play off of your intel, but more on that in the action phase segment. As for placement of your bamboozle balls, you want to put them in and around sight. Specifically, places will either commonly pre-fire or expect someone to be playing there. This way, the enemy will hopefully react thinking your prisma is an enemy and they will reveal their own location. Ideally, your bamboozles want to be hidden behind some form of bulletproof cover so they can stay there for as long as possible. This way, you may be able to trick multiple attackers with the same hologram. I place one facing main breach, one facing a commonly contested window or doorway, and one on the other site that isn't pushed as much, or in some other creative spot. These are what I've found to be the most effective uses of your holograms, but you can do some other strats that can be a lot of fun, but I probably won't have any footage of them. The classic strategy of putting all 3 prismas in a row and hiding in one with iron sights on your MX4 Storm and no cosmetics on your actual character model is fun. It makes the enemy stop and think for a second to try and figure out which one you are. Another one utilizes Alibi's passive ability. When you or a teammate run outside of the building when you or a teammate are Alibi, your identity will be hidden and the enemies won't know which operator it was. You can throw one of your prismas outside to make the notification of an enemy leaving the building appear on the enemy's screens, and they'll get scared, making it prime time for you or a teammate to run out from a different spot and kill the enemies that are off guard. To summarize, Alibi gets 3 static holograms of herself that will reveal the enemy's location if they make anything such as a bullet or drone pass through them. You should place these in common pre-fire spots to trick the enemy into giving away their position. She also gets a passive that hides the identity of any operator on defense that runs outside the building. Alibi's primary weapon options are the MX4 Storm submachine gun and the ACS-12 shotgun. Her secondary weapon options are the Keratos .357 handgun and the Bailiff 410 handgun shotgun hybrid. I personally use the MX4 Storm paired with the Bailiff 410. The MX4 Storm has a fast fire rate, relatively low recoil, and a good magazine size. With the right crosshair positioning, you'll be hitting those one-shot headshots with ease because of the fast fire rate. It's not great with body shots because it's got pretty low damage, even with the extended barrel, so I'd run recoil reducing attachments like the vertical grip and the flash hider, but ultimately it is up to you. The MX4 Storm is a good gun and a fun one too. As for the ACS-12, it's not that great. This DMR shotgun LMG hybrid has a stupidly slow fire rate which really lets it down, but very good damage and soft destruction. It also has access to every scope up to the 2 times, but I still think the MX4 Storm is objectively better because it's better in combat and you have soft destruction alternatives. Speaking of which, the Bailiff 410 is great for popping hatches, making sightlines and small rotate holes. It's not that great in combat, but you do have the MX4 for that. The Keratos .357 is a decent revolver, but I don't think it has a place in Alibi's kit, as she's got a good primary weapon option for combat, and if you do want soft destruction then you just choose the Bailiff instead. In terms of secondary gadgets, Alibi gets access to a singular deployable shield or 2 impact grenades. Choosing the deployable shield is the way to go for Alibi because you can hide one of your prismas behind it, or you can play it yourself. It's arguably the best secondary gadget in the game, so make sure to utilize it even if it's just in a threatening position to the enemy. If you plan on playing above sight, you can take your deployable cover and play off it up there. As for the impacts, I don't see them being much use to Alibi's kit either personally. You have the bailiff for soft destruction already, and sure you can make openings much quicker, but you can only make 2 of them with impact grenades, whereas the bailiff can make loads. Take the deployable shield, as even if you don't play off it, one of your teammates can, or at the very least you can hide a hologram soft spot behind it. To start off the prep phase, place down your deployable shield in a spot that you can contest main entrance to site with, and throw a prisma behind it if you think you will catch an enemy out. Next, place down your other 2 bamboozle balls in common pre-fire spots, then commonly held positions to trick an enemy into thinking the hologram is a real enemy. Finally, make any rotation, head or footholds you may want, and get off site ready for the action phase. To start the action phase, check the outside cams to see where the enemy has spawned and where they may push from. Position yourself accordingly and lurk around that area for a bit. If someone hits one of your holograms and gets pinged, try and capitalize on that by rotating around to them and maybe picking up a free kill. The next time someone gets tricked by a prisma, rotate around again to hopefully pick up a second frag. If you can't get to the enemy in time before the ping runs out, which is most of the time for me, consider running out on the enemy to see if you can still pick up that frag, as you know the general vicinity they are playing in. Come back to site when there's about a minute left on the clock, as that's when people will start site executes and you want to be there to pick up kills on the enemy trying to get the diffuser down. If the diffuser does get planted, then frag out and clutch the rounds, as there's not much else you can do. Alibi has a few counters: Twitch, 0, IQ, EMPs, Brava, bullets, and explosives. Twitch and 0 both have lasers mounted onto their cameras so they can zap your bamboozle balls bases to destroy them. You can try to shoot their gadgets out before they destroy your holograms, but you'll be playing off-site, so probably won't be able to prevent this. IQ can detect your holograms through walls and floors and shoot them through soft ones. To prevent this, you can hunt down the IQ playing above or below site before she shoots your holograms out. EMPs will temporarily disable your holograms, meaning they won't be projecting anything for a short period of time. There isn't anything you can do about this other than killing the person with the EMPs, but odds are your holograms aren't going to be their priority targets for the EMPs. Brava can hack your holograms to make them work against your team. You can try and shoot out her drones before they hack your gadgets, but you'll still be playing off-site, so it's really up to your team to prevent this. Bullets and explosives can both destroy your gadgets very easily, so to prevent this you need to position your bamboozle balls in a spot where they cannot be shot out easily, nor behind something that will get exploded, like your deployable shield. It's okay to place one behind a deployable, just know it's not going to last very long. Place your bamboozle balls in common spots that people like to pre-fire, so they'll have their location revealed without even realizing there's a hologram there. Use the MX4 Storm for a reliable SMG with a fast fire rate that will get you headshots left, right and center, provided your crosshair placement is good enough. Try positioning your holograms in places where they aren't easy to shoot out so that multiple enemies can fall back for the same trick. Use the deployable shield to provide some extra cover for you, your team, or a prisma so it can't get shot out as easily. Learn how to play off your prisma's intel by utilizing your 3-speed rating and rotating around to the pings as fast as possible. Overall, Alibi is a middle-of-the-road operator to play in terms of difficulty in my opinion. She's got a relatively straightforward kit with a simple-to-use primary gadget and a primary SMG with a bit of recoil. Learn how to capitalize on the intel gathered by your bamboozle balls, how to control the MX4's recoil, how to get creative with sightlines made by your bailiff, and you are sure to become a pretty decent Alibi player. Thank you all for watching, I do hope you enjoyed. If you found this guide helpful in any way, shape or form, please do consider subscribing and sharing it with your friends, as it does help grow the channel, which is very much appreciated. As always, all the clips you saw in this video were taken from my Twitch stream, link will be on screen and in the description. IQ is next for the Siege series, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.